dokie. Now, I promised you guys a video today, so that's what I'm doing. If any of you paid attention last night on Twitter, I got quite irritated. And it takes quite a bit to irritate me sometimes. I basically owned this cop on Twitter. All I did was say, even good cops have to kind of be bad cops. That's all I said. I said our son's a Leo, and he is. Of course, that's part of the reason why I try not to say where I am, because I don't want it coming back on him. You know, it wouldn't be good. At any rate, so the cop comes back and he's like, "What are you saying? I'm a liar, or that my department is corrupt?" And I said, our son is a Leo, and that he's even admitted to us that he's had to turn a blind eye. So even the good cops are in essence bad cops. That should have been clear from the get-go. And I said, it's amazing I had to spell it out. And he comes back one more time. I was like, oh my gosh, this guy still doesn't get it. And then I went on to talk about how between my husband and I, we won 7 cases in court, pro se. Pro se means we defended ourselves. No lawyers, just us. Just me, myself, and I. That's it. 1. Now, my case, and this is what I want to get into. It would have been about 3.5 years ago, 2 days before Thanksgiving. I'd gone to the city, it's north of us that way, and as I was leaving the store, I forgot to put my seatbelt. You can see me right now. We don't drive with our seatbelts on here, okay? It's not a big deal. Besides, most of this area is all country back roads, so we don't bother. So it was habit. I just didn't put on my seatbelt. I wasn't going far. I was going to be home in 15 minutes. So anyway, this cop pulls me over. Oh, fuck. So by the time he approached the car, I had actually put my seatbelt on. Not that it matters. And as he was walking up, I'm watching him, and he leans down to rub off the sticker on the license plate to see the registration. Then he walks up to the window and says, your registration's expired. And I said, that's not why you pulled me over. He goes, excuse me? I said, I watched you rub that off just so you could see it. That's not why you pulled me over. He goes, well, you weren't wearing your seatbelt. And I looked down and I'm wearing my seatbelt, and he goes, well, you weren't. So, and from my understanding, they do not have body cams. Anyhow, then he asks me, the rigmarole, driver's license, insurance, and registration, what have you. It wasn't even my car, so I'm sitting there trying to find this stuff. It was my stepson's car, actually. It was registered to him. At any rate, I'm scrounging around trying to find that stuff, and he goes, don't I know you? Now see, this is where a body cam would have come in so handy, and I'm going to explain to you why. First of all, he did know me, and he knew the car. That's why he pulled me over. Because a year before, and see, first I'll give you his words. He says, don't I know you? And I said, no, I don't think so. I've never been pulled over here before. And he goes, yeah, last year out on that oil lease, you were out there with your boyfriend, and he was working on the pump or something. My husband at that time was actually my fiance then, and he was a pumper for the oil fields. That alone tells me he knew me even before he pulled me over. He did pull me over specifically because he remembered that incident. That could have come back to bite him in the ass had he had a body cam on, because that's a conflict right there. Now, what happened that day when he pulled us over, well, he didn't actually pull us over. We were out on the oil lease. Mike was doing his job. At that point in time, I would drive with him just so that I could spend some time with him and learn a little bit about the oil field. I was actually very curious. So, we're about to leave the lease. And actually, we know the landowner out there. Pardon me. He actually just had to sell the property, poor guy. Frank. Very, very nice man. And that's also out north of us quite a ways. Anyhow, we're on Frank's property. We're about to leave, and we notice this cop car just sitting across the four-way intersection there. So, knowing that they're there, Mike and I decide to do a check of the vehicle. Make sure all the lights are working, blinkers, seatbelts on, everything, you know. And of course, that looks weird to the cops. So they literally drove onto private property. They are not allowed to do that. They drove onto private property to ask us what we were doing. And then ran the plates. That was in the same vehicle. So that's twice I've run into this guy. I shouldn't dox him. I was about to say his name, but I'm not going to do that. Anyhow. For the sake of keeping this all short, I'm going to tell you about the tickets he slammed me for. There was 4 of them. He got me for driving on a suspended license, and he took my license from me, which is a Florida-issued driver's license. Because at that time, I was still a Florida citizen. And then he got me for the registration, because I couldn't find that, and the insurance, and then the seatbelt. So I have to show up to court. It turned into an almost 6-month deal. Oh my gosh. And I was nervous the whole time. Your first time doing your own case, it is nerve-wracking. It is. But once you understand the laws, it's actually really a cakewalk. And these people who don't know it, okay, for example, pardon me. Now, I did learn some things after I did my court case. I did a few things wrong, but I know better now. That's what happens when you educate yourself. So, there were certain things I should have done differently. For example, when I tried to file for discovery, I was supposed to file the paperwork that I had. I was supposed to print it out and file it myself. I wasn't supposed to ask for a form to do it. I had to print it out and hand it in to be filed. I didn't know that. I know that now. And you do that with the clerk of court. And that's to get the prosecutions all the information they have when you want to file a motion to dismiss. Case in point. During my case, the prosecutor wanted to drop all the charges at one point and say that she was going to lower it to driving without a license. And I said, Your Honor, I motion to dismiss. We already know such and such county is in possession of my license. Well, he didn't rule on it because I didn't do it properly. I was supposed to file the motion. I didn't know that. I know that now. Of course, this was my first case, and Mike wanted me to just, go through the rigmarole and get a feel for it. Now I know. So. Oh, and then because I said that, she brought back all the charges. Oh. Well, come to find out, my license was wrongfully suspended by the state of Florida. So I actually called up Florida, and I actually got a letter. I don't have it with me. Maybe I'll take a picture of it when I get home and show you. Because I keep all that stuff. I file everything. I actually got the state of Florida to write a letter to the state of Kansas admitting that it was their fault my license was suspended in the first place. We did have insurance on the car, so that got thrown out. And then the registration we took care of the next day. It had expired, but it was our stepson's car. We didn't know he hadn't kept up on it. So we took care of it the very next day. So that got thrown out. So you got a 30-day grace period to get that fixed. No big deal. So basically what I was left with was a $10 seatbelt ticket. And they couldn't even prove that I wasn't wearing it because the dash cam wasn't working properly that day. See, that's how you win court cases. It takes a pain in the ass ton of work, but you can do it. And that's what pisses me off when I see these people just go in there in pajamas with a court-appointed whoever, maybe, and they just pay. They don't even try to fight it. My husband has won 6 DUI cases. 6! Can you believe it? Yeah, I know. He beat every single one of them as a pro se. Unbelievable. You just got to know the laws. And the ones that specifically here in Kansas deal with DUIs are the K-8 laws. Mike knows just about all. He was a member of I guess you'd call it a group of people who, that's all they did for months. They would study the laws so that if they ever got into that situation, they'd know how to defend themselves. And they did. They would go to court together as a group to watch the other one of their people defend himself so they could learn from it. I mean, wow. That's all you gotta do. Learn the laws, do your footwork with paperwork and all that, and you're good. And don't bend over and take it up the ass like most people do. And if you do have to go to court, dress presentably, okay? Every time I went, I was dressed very nicely, had my hair done, makeup, all the works. And I was polite. I never was abusive. I see people go in there and they're dressed flip-flops, pajama pants, baggy t-shirts. I'm like, come on, don't you have any self-respect? That's not, sure it's not going to make the court respect you. And if you do try to defend yourself, if you're dressed like that, they're not going to give you any mind. So you got to dress presentably. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, that's a little bit about the law. You just got to educate yourself. And for that cop not to get what I was trying to say to him, I mean, you can see it. The one who pulled me over did it just because he knew the car. They are corrupt. And for him to try to act like they're not. My son is one, and he says they are. Unbelievable. Oh, and here's another good one I wanted to share with you guys. One night, Mike, Travis, and I were sitting on our front deck. I was cooking on the grill. I think I was making burgers. And one of the guys in town, Danny, kept zipping by the house on his four-wheeler. And he was going so fast. It was what you would call a dangerous speed. And there were kids on the road walking or riding their bikes. So Mike, he got fed up with it. He doesn't like that kind of behavior. And they always do it right in front of our house, just to piss us off. And I'm sorry if this is getting too long, but I want to get this done before I get where I'm going. Anyway, so he flips him off. Danny comes back and starts having words with Mike. Now, I'm going back and forth inside and outside the house to work on supper, so I didn't catch all of it. But at one point, Danny threatens Mike with bodily harm. And once he stepped foot on the property to make that move, and he did, he got up on our property and was heading toward Mike. Well, Mike carried, and he pulled his gun. He said, "Please don't make me do this, Danny." So Danny got back down, got on his four-wheeler, went home. Mike himself called the cops. Guess what happened? The cops arrested Mike. And then the very next day, they kicked him out of jail. They didn't even ask for statements from Travis or I or identification. But they made sure they took the gun from him. The prosecutor looked at it, knew there was nothing there, so she dropped it. And he was out the very next day. My husband got arrested for defending himself and then got booted out of jail the very next day. You just can't make this shit up. Anyhow, I'm almost there, so I guess that's enough for now. Hopefully this wasn't too long. I'm sorry. And I'll try to upload it when I get back home. Ta!